What is short-form content really doing to you? When people say their attention span is getting worse, they usually mean something very specific. They struggle to stay focused, they feel pulled toward distractions, and boring tasks feel almost painful to push through. That feeling is real. But attention span isn't a single thing in the brain. It's the result of several systems working together, and strain in just one of them can make everything feel broken. Neuroscience usually breaks attention into three systems. First is alerting. That's your brain's readiness, the ability to stay awake and prepared for something to happen. Second is orienting. That's choosing where attention goes, like shifting your focus to a notification or a voice in the room. Third is executive control. That's the hard part. It's the system that suppresses impulses, resolves conflict, and keeps you on task when something more tempting appears. A helpful way to picture this is a spotlight. Alerting is whether the light is on at all. Orienting is where the light points. Executive control is what keeps the light from drifting every time something flashes nearby. When people complain about short attention spans, it's usually executive control that's under pressure. That brings us to a recent study looking at short-form video use. This study wasn't asking whether TikTok lowers intelligence or whether people are permanently damaged. The question was narrower and more precise. Is heavy short video use related to how the brain handles distraction and conflict? To test this, researchers used something called the attention network test. On a screen, arrows appear, and you have to press a key for the direction of the middle arrow. Sometimes the arrows around it point the same way. Sometimes they point the opposite way, trying to trick you. Those misleading arrows are the key part. They force your brain to suppress distraction and apply executive control. Here's the first surprising result. Behaviorally, everyone looked fine. Heavy short video users were not slower and they weren't making more mistakes. On the surface, attention looked normal, but the brain data told a different story. While participants did the task, the researchers recorded EEG, which measures the brain's electrical rhythms. They focused on frontal theta waves. You can think of frontal theta as a signal that rises when the brain is exerting control to deal with conflict. More theta usually means the brain is actively pushing through interference. When the task was easy, there were no meaningful differences. But when the arrows conflicted and control was required, a pattern appeared. People with higher short video addiction scores showed a smaller increase in frontal theta. In plain language, when things got mentally demanding, their brains showed less of the signal associated with engaging executive control. This doesn't mean their brains are broken. It doesn't even mean they're unfocused all the time. Resting brain activity showed no differences at all. The issue only appeared under pressure. It's not about baseline ability, it's about how strongly the brain ramps up control when it's needed. The study also found something that connects this lab task to real life. Higher short video addiction scores were linked to lower self-control. That matters because self-control and executive attention are tightly connected. If self-control is weaker, attention feels shorter because impulses win more often. You scroll longer than intended. You switch tasks mid-sentence. You avoid effortful work, not because you can't focus, but because resisting the alternative feels exhausting. Short-form video platforms are designed around rapid novelty and instant switching. That trains orienting systems to respond quickly to new stimuli. But later, when a situation demands sustained effort and conflict resolution, executive control has to work harder. This study suggests in heavy users that signal is quieter. What this study does not prove is causation. It doesn't show permanent damage. It doesn't say everyone who watches short videos is harmed. What it supports is a more careful conclusion. What we call a shrinking attention span is often a bottleneck in executive control, especially under pressure. The hopeful part is that executive control is trainable. Attention isn't a fixed trait, it's a system, and systems can be strengthened, supported, and redesigned, especially once you understand which part is actually under strain. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more.